G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat, this is my Knackers Yard, and we are on the XJ650 with the dog, lady, keeping guard. I had a good look last night on the web and I couldn't find anything on replacing the clutch basket complete on an XJ650. There's very little on it, lots of changing plates, but not of changing, completely putting it back together. So this should be useful to people. So, right, let's get on with it and get set up. Right, so catch up for those that didn't watch the earlier ones or are just in for this. This is my XJ650. The plates were shat. I have tried to salvage them. I have ordered new ones. So this is trying to put in the salvage plates. Comment from one of you guys was, is that motorbike specific oil that you're using? No, it isn't, and I know that's wrong, but this is an experiment, so it's just the cheapest shite that I could find that would work. Further in the bike, the starter clutch is trashed, so I'm going to need to take the engine out and go through the sump to get to the starter to change it. So this is just for shits and giggles. I want to see if I can get the engine running before I start pulling it apart, because I am not confident in it. Right, I've got the old book next to me. I am going to be chunking through it throughout. I did a bit of homework last night. One bit that confused me last night, and I couldn't for the life of me work it out. It kept talking about when I was replaced. So that's the main clutch assembly. It goes in sort of slightly at an angle, etc, etc. I'll do it in a second, but it's kept talking about be careful not to catch in the oil tank, the oil pump tank. I was looking everywhere, I couldn't find it. Just found them this morning. So that's the oil pump down the bottom there. What can you see? Can you see what I see? I think you're a bit zoomed in. There we go, that's better. So that's the oil pump down the bottom. These are the tanks it's talking about, and on the back of the plate you've got 4 lugs that it's going to need to fit in. So it's not going to fit in flat. I need to put all the bearings in and everything, but I need to get this plate in first, which is going to be a bit of a wiggle, and make sure that I try and catch those tangs in the right place. So I've got, for your reference now, I've got them at 12 and 6 o'clock. That little deflector is going to get in the way, so it just hooks in. Still at 12 and 6. We are slightly getting in each other's way here. Right, I'm going to have to move the camera and probably not film this because I can't get in there with the camera in the way, but I'll drop you back in. So I'm just going to manoeuvre it to try and catch the tangs in there and catch the teeth on the cog on the inside. Right, that wasn't all that difficult actually. I just needed you out of the way. So you needed 2 hands because it's holding it on those 2 tangs behind. You can tell they're there because it's locked off. I can hear it catching on the badges behind, which is fine. Sorry, the badges, the cogs of the main drive. It's then putting the inner bearing in. In fact, let me show you, at the risk of destroying it and dropping it all. It's quite awkward to do with you there. It's just a case of putting it in, making sure it's in the right place, making sure that you've caught those tangs of the oil pump behind. It's then bearing in, and then the main piece in the middle, which locks it all in. Now I kept these extraction bolts in purely and simply so that I could make sure that I got it in the same orientation when I took it out. These aren't part of the clutch. If you look back at my previous video, it's supposed to be 6mm ones, but whatever you have, it raises that centre section out so you can remove it. So repeat, you're not missing anything. It should have those 2 threaded holes there. Sweet. Right, now the big book of knowledge then says it's basket time. I've kept my basket in the same order that it's in. You can see my really quite shagged. I might have to give those another quick go before it goes in, so I know which orientation that went in. It says grooved side out. Now I've got grooves on both sides, which isn't handy, but hey. So it's that on, it's then basket on. I'm just going to jump off camera and give it a quick final clean because mine's pretty shagged. I have ordered replacements. Right, now I think that's realistically as good as I'm going to get mine. Forgot to put that little deflector bit in. There we go. So yeah, mine is shagged. I do have a new one incoming, but this is just to see if I can salvage what I've got first, I think. What is that? That's good to know. That looks like that only locks on one way. No, it doesn't lock on one way, it locks on more than one way. It doesn't seem that orientation of this is particularly an issue. It does have a dot on it. I can't see a dot on anything else. And the book don't say nothing. Nope. Right, so we're on and fixed. I should have a new washing nut, but I don't have one. So the old one will go back on for now. And the locking nut. Now this is going to be the challenge because I don't have a tool to hold this still. If you don't have a tool, go and find something you can use. Right, so I've got my torque wrench set up at the correct setting, which is 70 Newton meters. Oh, the book says in pounds and foot pounds, but now the issue you're going to have is tightening. That's going to want to spin, so I need to try and inhibit that spin somehow. So I'm going to try with a good old reliable fill strap. I have had it working before. I can't remember how I did it. Probably not like this, but it's got to be worth a go. No. Fuck it, I'm going to buzz gun it. Just headbutted you then. Right, so it's now a case of banging those tabs back to hold that steady, and I'm going to have to move you because otherwise I'm going to hit you with my tools. Right, so that's the tangs bent over. Under here in my Wagamama's pot, just out of shot, I have all of my clutch plates. There's my little hook. Now the important thing here is that they have been soaking, so they are as good as I can get them. The orientation doesn't matter, it's just getting one after the other. So it goes friction plate, steel plate, and what I will do is fast forward you while I do that. Right, and there we go, that's all the plates on. Next up we have a plate propper. Probably could have done with a bit of a cleaning itself. I've kept it in the order that I took it off, so that's effectively plunger itself and a washer, or two washers and a little bearing. Hang on, let me show you properly, dickhead. So plunger, little roller bearer, yep. Let me pull you out. Okay. Plunger, roller bearing, washer. Makes sense. Back it in from behind. Now the crucial lining up bit, I can't see. That mark gone? Oh, there it is. So the crucial lining up bit, I've got it at 12 o'clock to make it easier for you to see the dot and the dot, dot, dot. Seen? Zoom. Jump at your 12 o'clock, dot, dot. Otherwise they will not engage. You want them. There we go. I was wondering why that wasn't catching. That got me worried then. I thought I'd fucked it up. Right. Now I have measured these off shot. The springs are fine within spec. What that is off the top of my head. Get these all set up and I'll jump you back in. Right. You can probably hear all the works vehicles, they're digging up my road. So they are down to 9.7, 10 newton meters. Crisscross pattern. Work my way around, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter, and I think we are good. Right, cover, this is going to be a bit of a bastard because obviously probably all the way out. That's your clutch mechanism onto there. Now I think it's to the left. I can feel myself. It does say parallel in here. External clutch operating offer up the clutch cover until it lies parallel to the gasket face. Now I don't really know what they mean by that. That's on. It's going to need to be down. As I push it on, oh well, let's give it a go and see what happens. One cup of tea later, pulling up on that, holding the thing at the pin at about 45 degrees. And we're there. I just want to see that spring is trying to ping it off, so I just want to chuck a bolt in. Now, I've still got my lovely map, but it would appear it's just that one and that one that are the longer bolts. It's trying to spring itself away. Just holding itself there. Right, I'm going to go around and buzz the other lot on. No, it's only a very low pressure, I think, on these. I can't remember, but I'll just bang them on. Right, so that is covers back on. I've just reattached the clutch cable. I found it easier just to take the housing off and do it. Right, so that's the cable on. Seems to be doing what it needs to. Well, that's disappointing. So that is all back together twice. Got it in gear first. Punch in. Doesn't disengage. Now just to confirm. Where are we? Yeah, you're in shot. So to make sure that I'm pulling that enough. So that's as far in as it will go. So either my ghetto fix hasn't worked, which is entirely possible. I hate that phrase. My shit fix hasn't worked. Or there is a different problem. I'm going to check it on its side, leave the oil in and have a quick look, I think. So that's it stripped. That's it stripped. I've swapped that thrust plate the other way round to see, because it's grooved on both sides and it just says groove side out, but no joy. So I'm in gear. I'll be asked to adjust. Should be able to knock it out of gear, knock it into engage the clutch. For one, it feels remarkably loose for me to be able to do that by hand. But for two, no joy. So I'm blaming the plates. I could be wrong, but I have ordered new ones and they are inbound. Just seeing a bit of a notch in the rear wheel. So fine, spinning alright, spinning alright, spinning alright. Bit of a notch, which is probably where it's been sat on its bearings. But anyway, that's another job for another day. Yeah, I think it's the clutch plates. Yeah, I'll have another read. I'm slightly concerned that that's only really the spring. It's not. Yeah, I just think those plates are fucked. But I think I knew they were. That's why I ordered some replacements. Right, that'll do. Yeah, frustrating, but cheers. I'll catch you later.